This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. How you doing, my man? You doing good?
Yeah, man. Feeling like Adam Schefter these days. Just looking at my phone all day, texting people. I mean, it's you got 2 coordinator searches going on. You're a busy man.
It's like an Easter egg hunt every day for Mario Cristobal.
It really is, man. It really is. Although I think we're making progress on the defensive coordinator front. I think that might be the first job that's filled.
Fuerte.
Charlie Strong. Yeah,
bro.
I think a lot of people initially thought this was a slam dunk, right? Like you just slide him over.
He doesn't want it or something?
Well, no, I don't think it's necessarily that. I think part of it is what Mario wants long term, right? And I think there were other guys. I know there were other guys that when he went through the process last year, he showed a lot of interest in. And I think some of them might be available this time around. I think Anthony Campamil, who's
wait a minute.
I know
a young guy is going to be ambitious. A young guy is not going to stick around.
Right.
Charlie Strong is at a point in his life that he's probably not looking for any more head coaching jobs. And he obviously lives and eats and breathes defense, and he knows defenses.
Right.
I think that's a guy you can get, and plus kids gravitate to him. He's also very likable with kids. He's a terrific recruiter. He's very personable. I just think that, I just think Charlie Strong would be a lot of stability. But that's just me.
Those are all great reasons. I'm not arguing with you on any of those fronts. I mean, look, he's proven, right? He's been a head coach. He's got plenty of experience. He can help you recruit. But I also think, behind the scenes, I'm not sure that Mario was happy with everything on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm not saying he blames Charlie Strong for it, but sometimes when you don't like the way things turn out, you want change. And again, Mario's the kind of coach who interviews a lot of people. He takes a long time through this process. And as I've mentioned to you many times before, there are guys that he wanted last year that he showed interest in that didn't want to take the job for whatever reason. And I think there may be scenarios now where some of these guys are available to him and are interested in coming here now because of their situation has changed.
So this was a Kevin Steele dismissal more than a Kevin Steele steal from Saban?
No, I don't want to say that. I think again,
you just said he was unhappy with things on defense.
Yes, I don't think he was. I'll put it to you this way. I don't think he was satisfied. In other words, it wasn't like he was like, "Oh man, we lose Kevin Steele and this is going to be a disaster," right? Like it wasn't like he felt that way. I think he felt like there could be changes on defense if the opportunity presented itself. Kevin Steele got called by Nick Saban, who he's worked with multiple times, to come back and be the coordinator at Alabama. So it opens the door to new possibilities. Charlie Strong was with Nick Saban in 2020, by the way. He was an analyst on that staff at Alabama. I know that there's a chance that he could be going with Kevin Steele to Alabama. So, look, behind the scenes, there's a lot of different moving parts. And all I'm trying to tell you is there are other guys that I think Mario would like to have as his defensive coordinator. It doesn't have to be Charlie Strong. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. No, because, the way I was looking at it, the good thing for Mario on a negative is that you definitely hired the right guy if Saban's stealing him.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, whether he was unhappy or not, the fact that Saban wants him, that tells me that Mario had the right guy. And then, how many butthurt Canes fans did you get about Kevin Steele?
Well, I mean, listen, they what they remember is losing to Middle Tennessee State and giving up big touchdown plays. So they don't.
I know, but did they say he was the phony or not committed or all that kind of crap?
I mean, Miami fans, they trash anybody on the way out the door. I mean,
I got a couple of those guys, and you know what I said? Hey, don't forget Mario Cristobal also left Miami for Alabama.
Yeah, of course, guys. People, listen.
People leave for better jobs, and at the moment, Alabama next to Georgia is the best job you can get.
Listen, Kevin Steele, I think when he took this job, wanted to be a part of helping Miami get back. Like I had plenty of conversations with him. I didn't get the sense he was being fake. Like I think he really thought, but they ran into issues here. There are issues. And when you put together a new staff, which is what Mario did, in a new environment on a coast where you haven't coached in a long time because you're out on the West Coast, you're going to run into issues. And that's what happened. And so, look, I think there's a couple different guys that he's looking at for that side of the football. And if those changes happen, I think there's going to be changes probably across the defense.
All right, so give me some names, bro. What's going on defense?
Yeah, well, let me give you some names. I think Anthony Campanale, who's the Dolphins linebackers coach, obviously he's been here for 3 years, Jersey guy. I think Mario was at Rutgers with him when he was a player there under Greg Schiano. He was with, on the staff for 3 years. I know he showed a lot of interest in Campanale last year. Obviously, the Dolphins are going through their scenario, right, of changes. And
Fangio. Yeah, he may not be part of Fangio's staff. Yeah.
So I think that's why there's a real possibility that maybe Campanile is now available, and this is sort of the perfect quote unquote timing. And there's another name which hasn't really been out there, and I'm going to share it with you because we're insiders.
Sharing is caring. Okay, I just want you to know.
Yes. But this morning I got a message from one of my colleagues at The Athletic, Ari Wasserman, who mentioned Lance Guidry, who was the defensive coordinator at Marshall, just got hired by Tulane. Lance was played for McNeese State, was there multiple times as a safeties coach at FAU back in 2020 under Willie Taggart. But the last 2 years, he's helped Marshall build one of the best defenses in college football. In fact, they were number one on third down defense. They were top 10 in scoring defense, top 10 against passer efficiency rating, all the things that you need to be good at. And Marshall, if you remember, they went and they beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame earlier this year. I think they had 6 consecutive games where they gave up 13 points or less. And so he's a guy that I know there's interest in, and I think there's a possibility that he could be Mario's choice as well.
Okay. Offensive coach. What's the deal?
Yeah, I think things were trending towards Jason Candle, and again, that's another guy Mario has really liked. He's Toledo's head coach, a guy that I think runs the kind of offense that Mario wants to run. He runs a lot of 2 tight end sets and can score points. Toledo's had a good program. They've won 2 MAC championships under Candle while he's been there. But I think we've kind of gone through that phase where dominoes fall, right? Tommy Rees gets taken by Alabama from Notre Dame. Now Notre Dame's looking at an offensive coordinator. Maybe Jason Candle's looking at them, or maybe he's deciding that he's going to stay at Toledo. I don't know. I know that that's who he really liked. And for a while there, it seemed like maybe that was the guy who would become Miami's offensive coordinator, but I don't know where that stands now. I've mentioned Doug Nussmeier, who's the former Cowboys quarterbacks coach, who we'll see. Did the Ravens end up hiring an offensive coordinator yet? That hasn't happened yet, right? We still don't have an answer on the Ravens OC.
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, until we get an answer with that, we may not get any progress on potentially Nussmeier and other dominoes falling as well. So, and then I mentioned James Coley in the past. He's an excellent recruiter. I know he was Miami's offensive coordinator years ago. Some Miami fans shrugged their shoulders. Why do we want that guy? He was here already, didn't do well. Look, James Coley is an excellent receivers coach, excellent recruiter, as I mentioned. That's an area of need. I've mentioned to you before on the show here that maybe co-defensive coordinator with somebody else. I mean, co-offensive coordinator, rather, with somebody else here on the staff as a possibility. So I think we're further along. I think for a while it looked like maybe offensive coordinator we get a resolution to. I don't know that we're there anymore. I think we're closer on defensive coordinator.
By the way, Campanile would be getting a salary boost.
Compared to what he makes with the Dolphins, right? As
Hell yeah, dude. They don't pay an assistant coach what they pay a defensive coordinator in a top program. Hell no, man. So he would make more money when it's all said and done. All right. By the way, that story you guys had about Rashada and all that, that's some crazy stuff, dude.
Yeah, it's excellent reporting. Oh, I mean, that's why I enjoy working at The Athletic. Just the wide. Let me tell you, man. There's some really great reporters there. Andy Staples, who lives in Gainesville and worked for Sports Illustrated for many years. Just so well connected. He got his hands on the actual contract. I had been dealing with Rashada's agent for a little while he was being recruited by Miami, and it was a story that it's like it feels like it's been a year and a half sort of been building to this point, and we basically put it together in 1 week between 6-7 of us, national reporters, guys out in California, Alan Taylor, who's our Gators writer, and then Stuart Mandel, who's just an excellent writer in general. He's our editor in chief at the Athletic. Did a great job with the piece.
You guys got to see it. Subscribe to the Athletic, because that's a great story. Like a lot of stuff that they got there, but
right,
that is just classic, dude. Holy moly! And anything else going on UM-wise that we should mention?
No, I mean, look, great win by the basketball team last night, right? I mean, blowing out Duke, and they deserve some credit for that. I think, from a roster perspective, again, I spoke to somebody earlier this week. I think, getting wide receiver help after spring football is a high priority for Miami. They're always looking at the market, always encouraging guys to enter the portal, right? Come play for us. I think that will continue in the offseason. So I know Miami fans are worried. Hey, what about receiver? What are they going to do there? I think defensive tackle is another position where you hope to get somebody to replace Daryl Jackson. They went out and they picked up a couple of guys that I think will be part of the rotation, and Branson Dean and the kid they got out of Georgia State. I think both of those guys play, but I think they're still looking for that big monster in the middle of the defense. I would say those are their two primary needs when they go shopping, and they've got plenty of scholarships. There are going to be some guys leaving after spring football, but I think people ask me, hey man, what do you think? I think 8 wins. If they can get to 8 wins this year, fix the offense, that's a good season coming off of 5-7 and what a disaster it was last year. Get to 8 wins.
Yeah, play organized. Play
organized. I think that'll be a good season for Mario. And I think then you start to convince some of these elite wide receivers who keep leaving town to go play for Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia and everybody else to stay here. I think that's the priority. If you look at year 2 goals for Mario, stack another top 10 recruiting class in the last one that you just signed, get some elite players here locally to want to come play for you on offense, and keep recruiting great offensive and defensive linemen. I think he's really improved that side of the football. The offensive line might be one of the most improved units in the country this coming season. And that's not BSing. I'm not just trying to hype them up or anything like that. I'm telling you the truth. I think they really will be a lot better on the offensive line.
Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work there at The Athletic. Even better, subscribe so you can get a lot of great stories all over the country, and then obviously your local coverage of your local teams. Manny, as always, appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up on Friday.
All right. Good talking to you, man.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Manny Navarro, Caneswear, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. They got practically anything and everything with a Canes logo on it. Even if you want a neon sign for your bar at home, that's Canes, that revolves or flashes, they got that kind of stuff too. I mean, it's crazy. Jerseys and hats and shirts and Heat gear and Marlins gear and Panthers gear and Dolphins gear and Inter Miami gear and gear on sale. And by the way, if you can't make it to Davie, okay, you can go online at caneswear.com, and if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. They've got sneakers and sandals and Canes colors. I mean, really, seriously, anything and everything practically with a Canes logo, Brett will find it and he'll have it in that store. So great people. Caneswear.com.